Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I'm going to use one of the online exclusive stamp sets. These are not in the main catalogue or the mini catalogue. You just go online at Stampin Up and they have a whole range of different sets, card kits, all sorts of things. And I want to use this Scenic Adventure. I haven't used it before very much. I've made one card with it. It has matching dies and beautiful photopolymer stamps. And I've been asked to make a card, sort of a masculine card. And what I'm going to do is use this brand new paper that I have. This is called Peaceful Garden. And it's cloud cover and secret sea, those kind of colours. And I've used this paper, but I'm using the back of it, which is the cloud cover colour. And it doesn't look as pretty online as it is in the book. It's got some really, really pretty patterns. I love these ones with the doves on and the leaves. Really pretty. And as I say, I'm going to use this. I've just cut a 4-inch strip off one piece of paper. If you want to make this card or something similar and don't have this paper, this is what I first considered. This is the Traditions of Christmas paper. And the back of some of these papers, they have like the secret sea colours on. I found this stripy one. This is the one I nearly chose, but I've chosen this one instead. So let's see how it works out. Let's move that to one side. I've written all the sizes here and everything I've used. People always send me a message and say, oh, what was the green that you used? Which card did you use? So I've written it here for you all just to see. And on my desk, I have quite a lot of these die cuts already made. These were for a different class that I'm running. And so I thought I'd use one of those. I've got the ones from Spotlight on Nature. And what you get is like 2 sets of dies. I've used the second to largest, this one here. So let's pop those to one side as well. We don't need those because they're already die cut. I have got a few of the dies already in use here, and I've used the double tree. I've got that cut out in garden green, and I've used the single tree and I've got that one cut out in garden green. So I can put these ones back in. Oops, threw that one. There we go. I'm also using these two and this one. And when you cut out with these, they don't cut the whole shape, they just cut the top of it. So you can see this is the field or the hills, and when you use it, it only cuts to the edge here, and that means you can make this however big or small you need. And the mountains are the same. So I've actually had this doubled, popped that through the cut and emboss machine, and it only cuts at the top, so I can trim this exactly how I need. And the same with this little one. Again, I've done it double because I know I'm going to use these pieces for another card, and then I'll just cut that as I need it. They're the only dies I've used, and I'm only using one stamp, which is this smaller tree here. I've already got that on my block. Okay, so we'll pop those out of the way because we don't need those yet. I'm going to do the background for my card on this. Oh, I've still got some little pieces in, look. Just poke those out. And I'm going to use, let me just see, I'm going to use my garden green. Okay. And I'm just going to do some 2nd generation stamping and 1st generation stamping. So I want to look at how dark this stamp is. So this is 1st generation ink, it's quite dark. 2nd generation ink, see how you get a different shade or a different tone of this? 3rd is really light. I'm going to use 1st and 2nd. And all I'm going to do is put a tree background on this little circle. Let me just pop that there so you can see. And I'm not too worried where I'm stamping because I'm going to use my mountain shapes to cover over. So I'm going to do a dark one, a little bit lower down, a light one. So I'm going to do another dark one over here, maybe just another little bit of a light one down here. Okay, so I'll pop a couple down here. I might actually put some of that third colour in. Let's just see how it goes. Oh yeah, that's nice. I don't want another dark one next to there, but I do want that kind of green. So that's all I've done. If you want to put more on, you can. If you decide, oh, I need a little bit sort of poking behind, just pop a few extra little bits. Whatever you want. Whoopsie. Okay, so that's me finished with that stamping. That's pretty much all the stamping I'm going to do. So I'll pop that on one side. And let's move that out of the way. I do have my sponge daubers here because I might just go over like the mountain or some of the greenery just to give it a little bit more shadow and everything. Okay, so I'm going to use my mountains next. Let's cut these off. I'm only using one of them, so I'm just going to take the top one, pop the other one to one side. That bit's for the garbage. And then the same with this little mountain here. I've left it fairly long under here just to make it easier to attach. Okay. So this is going to go over to the left-hand side here. And then I'm going to put my big mountain over the top. So I'm going to pop that bit more in the middle. I'm going to pop it like this. And you can see I'm going to have lots of overhang, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to glue this one down first. I'm not going to trim it to fit or anything. I'm just going to glue it and then trim it at the end. So I'm going to pop that up here. So it covers some of our trees. You only get to see a little bit of them. And then this bigger one, I want it to be slightly offset like this. So I'm only just going to glue around here. I'm not going to glue all these bits. And so that I know roughly where I need to glue, I'm just going to chop those ends off, but I'm not going to trim it to fit the circle yet. So just a few bits. How many people have got this set? I've had it for a little while, but I've only just started to design with different things that I've bought. And I'm liking this one, sort of for masculine cards. Oops, put that there. Okay. I think it's going to make really nice masculine cards. Okay, I'm going to trim round now. I'm just turning my circle upside down and I'm going to roughly trim just round the edge. Now I know that I'm going to trim again because I've got to put the grass on top. So I will be trimming again and then I can get any little extra bits trimmed at that, that time. So let's just pop that away. Okay, so here are our mountains. And I think I would like a little bit more definition on them. So I'm just going to get my sponge dauber. You certainly don't have to put any more ink on or anything. I've got the smoky slate ink. I got it out just in case, and I'm glad I did. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up my dauber. I don't want a lot of ink, so I'm just rubbing some off onto my paper. And I could have actually done this while it was still a die cut. Okay, so I just want to put a little bit down this nearer mountain. Okay. There we go. Just so it has a little bit of depth to it. It's not much, it's not really artistic, it's just a little bit of depth. Okay, now here are my grassy hills, and I've cut those in Old Olive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the edge off, because I don't know how much of it I want. I don't know how much of the mountain I want to see. Let's have a look. Okay, I think I'm going to do it to about here. I'm not worried about this little piece here because I've got something that I'm going to pop over there. I think I'm going to do it like that. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put the glue onto the card, or this little die cut disc, rather than putting it onto the green backing this time. Let me move up a little bit. I'm not worried that it's on an angle here. There we go. Not worried that, you know, it's not level or anything. And again, I'm just going to go round the back. You could put a little bit of an extra green on here. You could do, you know, like 2 different greens. You could make them make purples for heather or something that's in the woodland. Okay, so, oh, that's pretty. Can you see how that mountain now just stands out a little bit more because of those tiny little shading pieces? Okay, right, let's pop that over there while it's drying, and let me show you what we've got. So my base is the cloud cover, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm going to make portrait orientation, but you could make this landscape as well. And then I have, for my layer, it's only 1/8 of an inch smaller, so I've got 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and when you pop that down, it will be just a tiny little border all the way around. So let's pop that on. I like having the tiny borders just to make the colours pop a little bit, and just to provide a tiny bit of sort of a coordinating colour, and it really makes the paper pop then. Now this was my piece of Designer Series paper. I cut a 4-inch strip and then cut them into 6 inches. So I had 2 4 by 6 pieces. And what I've done is I've kept this at 4, but I've changed the length to 5 1/4. And the little bit that I cut off, I'm going to use inside. I'm not using this side, I'm using this side. And there, can you see how just that narrow little border really makes that coordinating paper pop off the page? It would look really pretty this way around. Would make a super Christmas card. You could actually do this whole design for Christmas, make these trees in silver or some of the flocked white papers. That would look really pretty. Or even an embossed paper. Now, if you embossed a card, piece of card, and then cut your trees out with it, that would look nice. There we go. Okay. While I'm doing that, I'm going to do the inside. So my inside, I've cut the exact same piece of the Secret Sea for inside, and then instead of a piece of Designer Series paper, I cut a piece of white card, but it's exactly the same size as the Designer Series paper, so it just matches or mirrors the front. Now this is my paper that's going to go in here, and remember that little extra piece that I cut off? I'm just going to put that across the bottom because it's just perfect size for there. And then when I cut down the Secret Sea card, what I did was I just cut the whole piece of cardstock into quarters, and then I trimmed it to fit. So I've got these little pieces left, and I think I'm just going to use one of the tiny ones. Look, I'm going to pop it on here rather than waste it. It's a little bit too big. Might need to trim at the edge, but that's okay. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of glue down here. You don't need much, and it's such a narrow little piece, 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to smooch it up to that edge. There we go. And then trim that tiny weeny little bit off. I think I need to put a new blade in my trimmer. It's starting to leave little fairy edges. Okay, now I'm just going to go over that with my bone folder so that it's glued down nicely. And then I'm going to put that inside like this. This is one of those kind of cards that you could like batch make as well. You've got all your little die cuts ready, then just go ahead and put all the pieces together on it. Okay, so let me close it up and show you. My front piece is going to go here, and I'm going to pop my trees here and a sentiment. But if you wanted, you could certainly make this so that it was landscape and still pop your trees on and your little sentiment down here. Doesn't matter which way you put it. In fact, I probably have more room if I make it landscape. Let me just see. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to make it landscape. It gives me a little bit more space to work with. Okay, I'm going to just pop out those remaining bits from when I die cut. Any more? There's another one. You could use the brushed end if you have that. Okay, so now I'm going to off center it. I'm still quite happy that, you know, my paper's going to be here with my little trimming. So rather than portrait, I'm going to make it landscape. Lots of room to do your writing. And yeah, I think I'm going to put it off, sort of off like this. You can put this down with dimensionals or you can glue it flat. It doesn't matter. I'm going to put dimensionals on mine, and I'm going to use up some of my sort of edge pieces. That way, you know, I use them up and I don't have to put lots and lots of different size pieces or lots and lots of the dimensionals on it. I can just use my edge bits up. There we go. Let's take those backings off. Okay. Let's pop this over here. So I'm putting it a little bit to the right hand side. After saying I was going to do it portrait, now I've changed my mind and we're doing it landscape. And then these green trees I'm just going to put over here. Like this. You could put them flat down, but because I've put this up with dimensionals now, I'm going to have to pop these on with dimensionals. You can put them as high as you want. I'm going to put it so it just covers like this left hand side where the grass meets the mountain. So I'm going to pop it like that. So I'll put a little bit of glue behind this tree and then dimensionals on this tree. So let's use up the rest of these little pieces. And then I just need one other tiny little bit to pop here. And then let me see how much glue, only on the very edge. And I might have to move one of those dimensionals because I've put it where there's a little hole in the die and I don't want to see it. So I'm going to pop it this way instead. Are any of the others covering a hole? That one there is. So I'm just going to trim that bit off. Use that piece another time. Get rid of all these little bits. And let's go. Oh, let me just make sure that tree trunk is nice and straight. There we go. So the glue will go on this raised piece here, and the dimensionals under this tree will make sure that it all holds level. It's not going to get squashed or anything. Okay, and then last of all, I'm going to do a sentiment. Now, I'm going to use the pre-printed sentiments. These are the Greetings for All sentiments, and I've started using them in one of my card classes as well. You get 2 of each of these. I don't have all the pieces left because I've used a few, as I say, in one of my card classes. But these are a real time saver because they've got so many different sentiments on, and it saves me just looking through all my stamps to find the sentiment I want. And you know, you just pop them out. When you do pop them out, they have these little edges on. I just go over them with my finger, or you could cut them or just leave them. If it doesn't bother you, you can just leave them. And so I'm going to use this, and I want it to go, I think I might have it to go over here. Would have looked nice at this side too, but I think I'm just going to pop it on there. So glue at the top, send a dimensional underneath here. Let's take that backing off. A little bit of glue here just to hold it onto that cardstock. Okay. Now I've got that one little tree left that I showed you, the one extra tiny tree, and I'm going to pop that inside. I might pop it here, or no, I'm going to pop it over this side. Just glue this one down. There we are. Okay, and that's it. That's my quick and easy little card using the die cuts from the Scenic Adventures, and this little die cut from Spotlight on Nature, and my ever so easy peasy Greetings for All. So thank you for watching me. I hope you enjoyed that card. I hope you'll give the design a go. As I said, it would actually make quite a nice Christmas card if you just changed your colours around a little bit. That would be pretty. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you all again really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.